Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Why we love this show. We're all in this together. All races, creeds, ages, sexes. And let's get to music entertainment news. R. Kelly, all of a sudden back in the news. A Chicago native, of course, and former R&B superstar, claiming he recently lost consciousness after a failed plot to kill him in prison. Pretty terrifying for R. Kelly, but, he's in prison for a reason. The singer alleges the prison staff at his federal center in North Carolina purposely gave him too much medication, causing an overdose. And the attorney said the singer was placed in solitary confinement last Tuesday after they filed an emergency motion claiming that 3 Bureau of Prisons officials plotted to have another inmate killed. So I guess there's some validity to the rumor in that prison that it could have been something like that. But it's hard to have sympathy for R. Kelly at this point. He's certainly in prison for a good reason. And he was hospitalized for 2 days, and his attorneys claim he was over-medicated because he has blood clots in his legs and lungs right now, R. Kelly. So he's in there for a while. I think for life at this point, isn't he?
No, he's going to get out because Kenzie was on maternity leave, so she couldn't shoot this idea down.
I want to hear how
Wait, what
Kenzie
happened?
being on maternity leave affects R. Kelly's prison sentence.
It does, because I remember Kenzie wasn't here, so she couldn't say no. Al Roker Jr. was filling in for Kenzie last year, and we did discuss possibly doing a live broadcast outside of prison the day that R. Kelly gets released.
I remember that.
Yeah, so let me see if I can find out when he gets released real quick.
Yeah, so there is some kind of, to try to get him to go back into jail.
There's a release date?
Yeah, we were going to try to make sure he doesn't get out of jail. So
Okay.
we were going to broadcast live from the jail. When
So
he was,
broadcasting live would keep him inside?
somehow we didn't work out all the details, Kenzie.
I can see that.
This
is what happens when it's you guys and Al Roker Jr.
we were just brainstorming on the air. Okay.
So he's serving a 30-year sentence in prison. So
Which started when?
2021. So 2051. Mark your calendars. We'll be in North Carolina that day. I'm sure we'll have Ticket Blitz Thursday for 21 Pilots tickets that day.
That's where I'm from. I'll show you guys around my little hometown.
Oh, my God. There you go. All right. It's booked. We'll be there.
And we'll try to keep him in jail. That's the goal, is to keep him in jail. I guess he'll be 70-something by that point if he stays the full term.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to try to get him to, violate parole when he walks outside?
Something. There's some things that came through my head that I cannot say about trying to get him to violate parole.
I think we need to just calm down on today's show. Don't say that.
Let's just move forward.
There's been some accidents already, so let's just.
This leads to Kenzie's favorite quote from R. Kelly.
Oh, I know exactly what you'll do. 'Cause I have
Somebody
one
sent
favorite
me something
quote.
on my phone and it said that I hog-tied her. I don't know how to hog-tie people. What would I hog-tie?
I don't hog-tie people. Oh my God.
If Kenzie had her way, this would be a regular drop on the show. And
That's all I want. I say it all the time. I'm not hog-tie people.
It probably should be a regular drop on the show.
I don't know how to hog-tie people. I don't know how to hog-tie people.
I don't think interview. Brenda said it was hog-tie. I don't know hog-tie people.
I don't know how to hog-tie people.
Oh, there you go. Well, listen, we'll keep you updated on R. Kelly's health and wellness in prison as we go forward. This is a sad story, actually. The doctor in Matthew Perry's ketamine overdose case agreed to plead guilty. And this is something to think about just in general in Chicago when you are overprescribed something. And this is certainly one of the 2 doctors charged in connection with Matthew Perry's ketamine death has agreed to plead guilty to distributing the drug, according to the Department of Justice. I think this is a good thing that's only happened in the last, I would say, 5 years. I remember with Mac Miller, the drug dealers, they end up going to jail, and it started to, people that do this are actually end up getting charged. I don't think it's happened until recently, this kind of thing. So I think it's a good thing that's going forward with this. And he's one of the 5 people charged actually in Perry's death, because there was a whole slew of people in this kind of network getting him ketamine, and then he ended up overdosing. And we don't know this day if he knew it was that dangerous to do. I think some people use that drug as a mental health.
Well, it's prescribed now. I recently had an interview with an artist. Her name's Esther Rose. You can watch it on Q1's YouTube channel. And she talked about in the interview how she's prescribed to ketamine now, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
And I went, do you know what happened to Matthew Perry? And she goes, I do. I have a prescription. But yeah, it's a whole different world out there.
I think he did
too. Yeah, maybe.
I think when it's done properly, it can actually be very helpful. And he was definitely getting these prescriptions illegal. They were just feeding it to him because they were getting money from him. A lot of money.
It's sad. It does break my heart, especially because of what he was recovering from in his life, and it really does break my heart.
Yeah, they were literally thousands and thousands of dollars for extra ketamine, and they weren't really monitoring how he was using it. And he obviously had a bad history of addiction and mental health issues. And Matthew Perry was so funny, and it's tragic loss. So I'm glad that they're got some jail time there for those people. Let's get to the Haim tickets. 312-591-8300. Caller 10 right now. Haim's new album, I Quit, is out this Friday, June 20th. So it's the I Quit Tour 2025 at the United Center at the Madhouse. That is going to be epic. Friday, September 12th. Tickets are on sale now, but we got free ones. Our great friends at AEG Presents. 2 tickets to the show for Haim and the I Quit Tour. And remember, that album is out this Friday, 312-591-8300. Call now.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Get your takeaways in, 312-591-8300. Something that was memorable on today's show for you. I can't imagine what the takeaways are going to be today. 312-591-8300. Text in something that was memorable to you, in your eyes, on the show today with your takeaway. Some pretty scary news yesterday. We're going to let WGN just tell the story here on what happened in the last 24 hours at a hospital nearby when the temperature was 96 degrees.
Good evening. And just to clarify, the electricity, the power is still on here at Weiss Hospital, but the air conditioning unit is out. We did have a chance to actually talk with a patient who was discharged tonight. He said he has been here since June 12th and tells us that in his room it has felt hot the entire stay for him.
To be honest, it's like an oven. The only thing they got a machine like this for air, but it's for the hallways only. But inside the rooms, ain't no air, just wind blowing out of the vent.
We did receive a statement from management here saying Weiss Memorial Hospital has experienced a catastrophic loss of its air conditioning system. A team of mechanics working diligently to restore the systems, which is estimated to take several days, given that the aging infrastructure had not been properly maintained by its previous owners. Now, we did research, and Pipeline Health is the company that sold this hospital back in 2022, and it is now owned by Resilience Healthcare. We did ask the management spokesperson here tonight exactly if they could clarify when this air conditioning went out, and we are still waiting for that clarification and a response. Live in Uptown, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
It is unbelievable. First off, terrible situation for people that are in the hospital, just had surgery or whatever happened to them, and then the air conditioning goes out. When I'm in normal health and the air conditioning goes out, I feel terrible. It's like it is, to use their own words, catastrophic when the air conditioning goes out. These people had open wounds or were feeling terrible, and then the air conditioning goes out. They had to evacuate the hospital. First question that me and Case had this morning when we saw this was, where do they go? I mean, how can you get to another hospital so easily? They had ambulances coming in. I believe that's what was going on, is redirecting people to different hospitals. Right.
You get to pick. I've heard good things about this one. I'd rather go there. You get to choose what hospital.
I don't know. This isn't both me and Case's neighbor. This would be our hospital if something happened to us in an emergency situation, the Weiss Hospital Memorial.
You better not have an emergency. You're going to be hot as hell.
Damn right. I got shot in the shoulder. You know what? I'll walk it off. I got AC at home.
I have air conditioning in my house. I'm going to stay home.
I feel terrible for the people that work there, too. The nurses and doctors that are all, and everybody, orderlies. The thing is, though, in their statement, they say a catastrophic loss of the air conditioning. They took over the hospital in 2022, and they're blaming the people that owned it before them.
Previously owned the hospital. It had to also just be a hospital, right?
It had to be a hospital, but also it was 3 years ago. It wasn't like they just transferred ownership a month ago. Maybe they should have been working on the air conditioning for the last 3 years, is all I'm guessing, to make it up to snuff instead of waiting for this to happen.
Just take a look at it.
Maybe,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Now it's broken, though.
It was broke.
Well, they said
now it's broke, so we're going to have to tackle that.
All you got to do, it gets a little warm, you put your hand up by the vent and go, it's not coming out very strong, is it? I don't know. It doesn't feel so cool. I feel like just vent air coming out, fan air.
Now, I don't want to put the business of Weiss Hospital on the street, but like Brian said, it's both he and I. It's our local hospital. I live extremely close to Weiss, and sometimes when I walk the dog, I notice that there will be a posting on the door to the emergency room at Weiss, a bright orange paper.
Yep.
And this has happened now multiple times where I walk up to the door of the emergency room, and there's a postage there from People's Gas saying that this resident has not paid their gas bill and it's in danger of being shut off.
Like the hospital?
The hospital. That's a real thing that's happened now multiple times. I live in Uptown. I've lived in Uptown for years. I have now seen gas bills not paid on the Weiss emergency door multiple times.
I feel like they can't just do that. Like, well, guess it doesn't have power. Like, what if they're in the middle of a surgery or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they can't just turn that off.
Well, they can't. You're right. They can't do that. That's probably why they're not paying the bill. They know, hey, what are they going to do? Turn it off during surgery?
Hey.
And that led them to this point.
We're going to find out. We're playing a dangerous chicken and mouse, or not chicken and mouse, what is it?
Chicken and mouse game.
Cat and mouse, chicken and egg. Okay, whatever. Same thing.
Good
Potato, tomato.
Good analogy. We hope that gets fixed and that hospital services the community. Your takeaways, 312-591-8300. Text in your takeaway right now from today's show. It's Brian and Kenzie, Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And we know you listen pretty much to this show the same time every day. That's why we have the podcast for you later on. Anytime you can go back and hear the entire show at your leisure. And I know right now it's 9:38. You might be not listening at 8, but this may be big enough to get you to listen at 8 tomorrow, 7:50. Actually, let's start it there. With 21 Pilots tickets and a song scramble. And right after that, we launched Ticket Blitz Thursday. Weird Al tickets sold out at Ravinia. We have them as Q101 presents Weird Al at Ravinia. So all day long tomorrow, 8, 9, 10, Lauren, Brian Phillips starts with us at 8. We'll have tickets every hour for Weird Al. And at 7:50, those 21 Pilots tickets. I think that's big enough to change your schedule to join us if you're not here, usually at 7:50. Lauren coming in next. Your takeaways, 312-591-8300. Case, what do you got?
Takeaway from Dave in Tinley Park: skip Bible study, just listen to the morning show.
Wow.
A very bibiblical show.
It's been that way the last few weeks.
Well, you know, we care about the man upstairs.
We do.
Two birds, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Kind of like that cat and chicken thing or whatever.
Hey, big cat and chicken game.
What do you got, Kenzie?
Adam's takeaway, hefty on a huffy.
And finally checking in from 219, takeaway. 36-year-old white guy here. That's it. That's it. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate you. Case, what do you got on the podcast today?
I have big podcast news.
Oh, no.
There's something new on the Brian and Kenzie podcast, a new feature.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. We now have bookmarks that tell you exactly when every segment was. So maybe you click on to the 7 a.m. podcast and it starts with sports, but you just want to listen to Clash with Kenzie. We now have it on Spotify and Apple to where you can skip straight ahead to Clash with Kenzie.
Stop it.
I know. How fantastic is that?
But I don't want people skipping sports.
Okay, all right. Then I'll get rid of that.
Just relax.
All right, never mind. I thought
like
I'd make it
sports
easier.
Viking. I say all the numbers.
I say all the numbers. That's right. Those numbers are important.
Okay.
Those
all
Pete Crow Armstrong numbers are important. MVP.
Some of us glaze over when you do numbers, okay?
Well, listen, I'm do more tomorrow than at 7. I'm going to give you all stats tomorrow.
I thought I was making it easier on the listeners, breaking up, a fact that makes your brain go boom, a sports, a Clash with Kenzie, that sort of thing. Head-to-head lines, obviously, they will be its own podcast, but I thought I'd make it easier. Maybe not.
Hold on, before you go. So,
I haven't
before
even talked about the podcast yet. Go ahead.
So the segment comes up, and then you just click ahead on that little arrow to go to the different bookmarks.
You'll be able to scrub. It'll tell you exactly where to scrub to.
That's pretty cool. Don't skip sports, though, but yeah, listen to the whole thing.
Just relax. Some people will listen to your segment. Some people will listen to mine. It's fine.
I don't like it. All right, what's on this segmented podcast, Case?
Well, this morning, crew member Brad bragged about all the sex that he's having. You can go back and listen to that conversation in which, he just talked about how cool he was. Also, Brian put the fear of Blair Witch into the soul of a listener, somebody who's taking his children to the woods tomorrow. Brian said, well, have you thought about Blair Witch? That was really messed up. And head-to-head lines today. I'll go ahead and say it. An all-time Mount Rushmore head-to-head lines. It started one place. It ended with a very deep racial discussion. It was fascinating radio. That lives on the Brian and Kenzie podcast if you missed it.
Yeah, part of it relates to this late takeaway from 847. Honkies should not ride honkies to evade the police.
And you need context on that, which is on the Brian and Kenzie podcast.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. and Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.